self-discovery journey in this life? And the reason why I asked this particular question in this life, because just now with Alec, we experienced something outside of this world. As we literally 10 minutes ago started this live, it just went crazy. And it was almost like zombies are attacking this world. Anyways, I'm so happy to introduce Alec into the studio again, because Alec will tell us today all about his business expertise. And why would they invite him today? Well, because he has more than 40 years of experience within 4 different industries and more, as he just told me just before we started the show. But Alec, could you please not to call any zombies anymore into this show, because it freaked me out what just happened.
What can I say? As I said, technology and myself sometimes don't get on, but obviously there's a transference happening here. So I've passed on my karma to you. So you're now experiencing it.
Oh, that's it. Okay, that's great. Could you please pass on, some great karma,
I'll pass it on. There we go.
That feels good. That feels good. As long as we don't have any zombies coming around, because
you'll notice also, by the way, Olga, that I've decided to use the green screen in its traditional sense. I know most people want to put up fancy images of libraries or Sydney Opera House, but I've got green. So there we go. So that tells everybody I'm Irish. So we'll stick with the green theme.
Exactly. And it also tells everybody that we are different. That's it. We just use a white screen and a green screen.
That's it. We'll be different.
Exactly. But I'm so happy to have you here with us. And I must tell you, I'm really impressed by what you have done and what you have achieved in your life. I mean, you're not only an international speaker, you're also a radio show host, and you're also an author, an MC, and consultant who helps organizations to get better, increase profits and everything else. And you're also a husband.
Yes, and one of these days I'll get a real job. That's it. That's going to be my next ambitious project, a real job.
A real job. Okay. How does a real job smell, taste, feels like to you? What is, in your sense, real job? Just so we can tell other people what is real job.
Of course, I'm only joking. A real job is what I would have been told when I was leaving school by my parents. They said, go and work for an organization that will be safe and will give you a pension when you retire.
Wow.
And I went,
exactly.
Yeah, but I did it. And I joined a bank and I spent 8 years there.
Wow.
And probably it was an interesting journey and I thoroughly enjoyed it. But one of the pieces that amused me was that at the age of 25, I applied for a particular job. I wanted to work in a trading room, dealing currencies and things like that. I'd been working 3 years in foreign exchange, so I thought this would be great. I'd love to do this. So I approached our human resources, as it's called today, and they said, yes, Alec, but you're too old.
Too old? Wait. That was when you were 25. And because right now you look like you're around about 30. So it was a while ago. And you were already too old.
Yes. So as always, when something like that happens to me, it gets under my skin. So I said to them, if I apply for the job, will I be disqualified because of my age? And they said, no, but it will go against you. I thought that's interesting. So I'll apply for the job anyway.
I love that.
So the interview process was quite tough. There was a lot of, because doing that, one of my skill sets is practical mathematics. I can calculate very quickly in my head, and that was a key strength. And that would be expected to be doing a job like that. Yeah. But I thought to myself, I need an edge, because if my age is going to go against me.
Yes.
So what I did was I contacted a friend of mine. So I'm now introducing the concept to your audience here of networking and the importance of networking.
Yeah.
I contacted a friend of mine who had a similar position in one of the merchant banks in Dublin. And I said, George, can I come up and see him to show me around the place? So kindly enough, he showed me around, told me what it was all about, because most people never get inside a dealing room, so they don't actually know what's happening. So anyway, we came to the days of the tests, and the tests were fine. I mean, I'll give you an example. One of the tests was that you're shown very simple sums, 60 of them, and you have to say if the answer, you're given the 3 columns and then the answer, and you have to say whether the answer is right or wrong. So I was very proud of myself. I managed to do the 60 in 60 seconds. So that was
in 60 seconds.
60 in 60 seconds, yeah.
Yeah, you're really good in maths.
So it came to the interview, and we went through it. It was all fine, blah, blah. And then they asked that question, what we call the $64,000 question. What was the question? Tell me, what goes on in a dealing room? And apparently, out of all the interviewees, I was the only one who knew. And that's how I got the job.
That's exciting.
Yeah, so that was different.
That's good. That's good. Wonderful. But it just shows how you need to be persistent, and you should not stop when somebody tells you you might not get there. Because people will always try to stop you. People will always tell you something. You can't do it. You're too young. You're too old. You don't have enough experience. You have too much experience. You're overqualified. You're underqualified. But you just have to listen to your inner gut, the intuition. By the way, was it the intuition telling you, or was some spooky things happening that you knew you have to go after that?
No, it's intuition. It's that sixth sense that we all have inside us that leads us on a path. And what happens with that sixth sense is we either listen to it or we listen to the outside voices. And I was never good at listening to outside voices. I used to joke, because I had long hair at the time and I wore sort of ex-army clothes and things. And I used to say I was a rebel without a cause, you know.
Wow.
And so therefore, so when it came to leaving the bank, that caused a lot of problems in terms of my parents and that age group. You can't leave. You can't leave. It's a safe job. What are you going to do? Where are you going to go? And so my journey into the world of entrepreneurship, well, I can't say it had started. It started when I was about 6, but selling comics off walls and things like that. But one of the things I was doing in the bank was I set up a jewelry business for the weekends in a local market. So I was selling. So when I finished on a Friday evening and had a couple of beers, Saturday morning up first thing to load up the car with trolleys and things, and then go off to a market for 2 days and sell jewelry, and then come back and go back to the bank. So I was always keeping myself occupied, you know.
I love it. So you started selling comics from the age of 6.
Yeah.
My son to crack on. He's 14.
Well, guess what? You know, the sort of entrepreneurship side was in the family. My mother was very entrepreneurial, and I suppose you pick that up from within the family. And there's a natural instinct to want to go out and do things. And because I mean that was during a summer holiday, and I would have been bored for 3 months, so why not do that? Yeah. I mean, later, when I was sort of in my early teens, I remember there was a fish van used to call around once a week. So all day I worked in that for free, just to entertain myself, and I got to know a lot about fish, even though I wasn't a big fan of fish, you know. And you know, but you do things just to amuse yourself, you know.
I love that. Okay, so what was your the most ridiculous job you ever done? Like the most crazy, or something what people were like raising eyebrows when you would tell them, what do you do?
Oh wow, gosh almighty! Probably when I took on the job as a swimming pool attendant, and I couldn't really swim.
No, you don't do that.
Well, yeah, so now I was only 14, but I managed to get a job in a hotel, so that worked out well.
I mean, sure, yeah, that's good. Thank God I wasn't going swimming where you were.
Well, I just hope you could swim would be the real key to it, you know.
Wow, you just made me laugh. Honestly, I probably never laughed on a live show that much so far. Well, we actually have Diana here who is reporting, oh, after your tech glitch, I had a tech glitch. But finally here. Yes, we are finally here. That's nice.
You can blame me on it.
Yeah, let's just blame Ali. Exactly. But actually, do you do anything with technology? Are you somehow connected with technology, or is it because you avoid technology that much? It's like punishing you with all these.
I know I'm quite interested in learning it, but what I tend to find is it doesn't like me. So yeah, there's a personal vendetta with technology and me. So I'll give you an example. I might have a problem, say on the computer, to look up, and I want to do something. So I'll look it up, and instructions will come. So do this, and then go to this box and tick it. I always find that box doesn't exist when I go looking for it. It's disappeared. So there is the technology god out there who is frowning upon me for some reason. Maybe something I've done in a past life.
Maybe you have done something in the past life. Like kick with a computer, dropped something. Yeah, definitely 100%. But Alec, I'm really curious to hear all your amazing tips and secrets, if you don't mind sharing with us, how actually people can pivot their businesses and what they can do, in order to create great cultures. Because especially right now in the lockdown, people are suffering from not having connection within the people in the offices, or even within the layers of the people working in the organization. And it's quite fascinating how these times usually show whether you have it in a company or you don't have it in a company. So what do you think businesses actually could do, just from your experience, from all the way from being a swimming attendant without being able to swim to actually being an international speaker? Between all of these experiences and years what you had, what would you say are the most important tips of what people can do with their businesses in order to create amazing cultures, but still keep it simple?
Yeah, well, funny enough, I'm writing a talk called Keeping It Simple.
Oh.
And believe it or not, I started writing it this morning because I have to deliver it next week. So there we go. There's the karma happening.
Wow.
And really what I wanted to say to people in business, and I constantly do this because people tend to forget that life is simple. Mm-hmm. But for some strange reason, and there's all sorts of psychology around it, we're not happy with simple, we like complex. Mm-hmm. And that drives me mad. Let me give you an example.
Yeah.
What are you selling? What are you selling that Microsoft sell, that Google sell, that Apple sell, that McDonald's sell? What are you selling? And the answer is the same thing. Yeah. We all sell the same thing. So what is that?
It is knowledge.
We sell knowledge, exactly. But people get confused. Oh, we sell hamburgers, we sell products, we sell computers, we sell technology. No, you sell knowledge. What you sell is the knowledge of your particular sector and how you've managed to gather it. Now, whether you learned it yourself or whether you brought in the expertise around it. And that knowledge is then packaged in a way and delivered to people who want to buy it.
Yeah.
Because if they don't want it, they won't buy it. So all business is that side. So that's how simple businesses is. And the other side of the business is what I like to call the business of being in business. And the business of being in business is common also to every organization. And that is, what do you need to support what you're doing? I need an accountant. I need a HR executive. I need marketing. I need all the business, what I call the plugins. If you're a small business, think of them as software as a service, where you buy it as you need it. Make sure you find the best that you can afford. Buy that, plug it in when you need it, park it when you don't. If you're a large organization, you probably have it all in-house anyway. And that's the simplicity of business. So when we talk about lockdown, what did I do in lockdown? Funny enough, I'm just one of those people who sees opportunity in all sorts of things. And in fact, I've enjoyed the lockdown now. Obviously, I have to be respectful of those who have been very unfortunate and lost people. But overall, I've thoroughly enjoyed it and I'm going to miss it because it gave me a chance to get off the treadmill of life. Everybody's on this treadmill. Somebody keeps turning the speed up and we all keep running faster, but we're not going anywhere. Mm-hmm. We need to get off it. We need to just recenter ourselves and think, wow, what are we doing? What's important in life? And what we discover when we have the time to think of it, we discover new ways of making contact with people, because that's what I did, and I'm sure you did the same, Olga, that we actually started contacting people and talking to them. Zoom has become a fantastic tool. And so we're able to see them, contact them, talk to them, and we have more time to do that. Yeah. The second thing I also did was spend more time connecting with organizations, which I normally wouldn't have the time to do, and also learning online. So that gave me a chance. So I'm well chilled out. That's what I'm doing.
I love it. I love it. So basically what I hear from you, it is like a big message that seek for the opportunity.
Yeah.
Seek for the opportunity, what the situation, current circumstances are bringing to you. And I so can relate to you because I look at lockdown as an opportunity. And now we start opening up and I'm like, okay, can I stay a bit longer? Because I still have so much to do. I don't feel the need and the urge to come out. I mean, yes, of course, I miss the traveling part and the social part, yes. But I don't feel like we were taking away huge things from our lives. I just feel like we were given time to use it with our families, with ourselves, to learn something new, to pivot our businesses, to just expand and grow. And I think it's amazing. So, you know what you said there? Seek for the opportunity. It's so simple, going back to being simple, but it's so true. It is so, so true.
But business is simple. And people tend to forget it. You know, I gave a talk just recently called, what was it called? I have to try and remember. It was called Higher Fees for the Same Work.
Oh, yeah.
And it's all about professional services. And it amazes me the number of companies that came on to hear what I had to say. Now, what I had to say was the basic things of how to charge for your time.
Please tell us more, please, because I know right now we have Maria who is just loving this. Actually, she says, love it. And we have also Diana, who I know they are in a business which is service-based. So could you please tell us more how exactly they can to actually earn more by doing what?
Yeah, okay. The first thing you need to understand is how much you cost. How much do you want? So how much do you want in life? So, for example, depending on the tax system of the country that you're in, if you take somewhere like Ireland, and I'll take it very quickly, 150,000 euros a year will net you around 85,000 after all taxes are paid.
150 and then 55.
And then you lose about 65,000 in taxes and all bits and pieces.
I'm not moving to Ireland.
No, I don't blame you.
It sounds very promising.
Yeah. But okay, let me give you the quick maths around this, and I have to. The figures will be roughly right. I don't have the presentation in front of me, but what you have to think is you're working for a company. The fact that you work for yourself is immaterial. You work for a company. So if you were working for any company, how much you'd be working for? There's 365 days in the year. There's 366 because it's 2020 and it's a leap year. Take off the Saturdays and Sundays. Take off the days holidays, take off the bank holidays, take off the 6 days of annual leave that you get, and you're left with a net 1,589 chargeable hours in a year based on 7 hours per day. So you have 1,589 chargeable hours available to you to charge out. Mm-hmm. When you balance that out in terms of a 150,000 euro salary, right? That works out around about 90 odd euros per hour that you're costing yourself. Or if you were working for a company, you would be costing a company 96 euros an hour for every hour for those 1,589.
Right.
But remember, you're not going to get paid for every hour that you're there. You're going to have to prepare work. You're going to have to market. You're going to have to go out and meet people. You're going to have to travel. You're going to have to do all of those sort of things. So what you should be doing is taking a multiple of that. And my maths are slightly up because I'm just trying to do the calculations. I have a presentation on it if people want to find out more. And in essence, you need to be charging out to achieve your 85,000 net. You need to be charging around 290 euros an hour. And that's based on you getting roughly around one third to a half of the actual time available to you as chargeable hours. Yeah. And when people look at that, they go, wow, I'm charging far less than that.
Yes. Yeah.
And once you understand that, that allows you then the position to understand how to charge people out. Now, the second piece of this, if you want to know and you have the time, I'll tell you, the second piece of this is very important. You do never, ever charge for time. We don't charge for time. We charge for our expertise. Mm-hmm. When you start charging for time, people then decide what the appropriate rate is, whether it's right or wrong. The only people who don't get challenged about their hourly rate are surgeons as you're being wheeled in to be operated on. You never question a surgeon how much they're charging per hour.
Yes.
So everybody else gets challenged. If you're dealing with a large professional services company, they might be only too happy to take a chargeable rate. However, they will ask you at what level the person you have working for you on that aspect of the project is. So what level in the organization are they and what rate have you got for them? And if it fits within their model, they're quite happy to go along with it. Mm-hmm. So what I suggest to people is this. Let's say a project is going to cost, or it's going to take you 10 hours. Mm-hmm. Okay. And we've worked out that this is roughly 290 euros an hour. So you're going to bill them about 2,950. When they ask you, how did you come to that price? You know how you got to that price. How did you get to that price? You say, based on my experience and knowledge and working on similar projects in the past, this is what I reckon it will take to complete it. Yeah. And if they ask you how many hours, you say, it's not about hours. I don't charge by the hour. No. This is based on my experience, is what it will take to complete that project. Once we stick to the schedule we've agreed.
Love it. And this is so hard. I mean, this is so hard, because then you stop selling yourself per hour. Because if you cannot make that hour, if it takes less than an hour, they're watching the time. If it takes longer than an hour, then they get worried. That's it. This is based on my expertise and knowledge. I love that. I mean, Alec, you just shared something really, really insanely expensive and yet very simple. I mean, it's so obvious. It's so obvious, and yet people don't understand it.
Would you like some more?
Yes, please. I mean, we have the comments here. Yes, please tell us this. So please tell us more. Absolutely.
All right. I'll give you a couple of more. One of the things that, the most important thing to do when you're working with a client is that when you're sending a proposal or a quotation, that you explain exactly what you're going to do as much as possible. The second part of the proposal should explain what you're not going to do.
Love that.
Terms and conditions are fine, but the problem is that most people don't read them. And if you find yourself having an argument over terms and conditions, you're probably heading to court and you probably won't get paid anyway. Mm-hmm. So be very specific. I will do this, this, and this, but I won't do that, that, and that. And if they ask for that other piece of work that's not part of it, you go, hi guys, I see you're looking for some extra. Just let me work out how long that'll take me, or not how long it'll take, but what's needed for that, and I'll give you a proposal for that piece. Often you'll find people go, hang on a second, I thought that was part of the proposal. No, it's not actually. You can see it's clearly stated that it's not. All right, okay, maybe I don't need it, but I'm happy, but at least you intercept it before it goes on. The next thing is that you have the law of creep. And the law of creep is all about, you've completed a project. Let's say it's a nice project. Let's say it's a €5,000 project. And the client comes back to you and says, Olga, listen, I forgot to get this little piece done. Mm-hmm. Now, in your mind, you know it'll take you maybe an hour. So that's, €250, whatever it is. But they've given you a nice project. They're nice people and you hope to work with them again. So you say, I'll do that for you. Yeah. And then a week later, they ask for another little piece, and it's only about half an hour. And then a week later, they're asking you for another little piece. That's the law of creep.
Yeah.
This is where the zero invoice comes in. Mm-hmm. And the zero invoice is very simple. What you do is you agree to do it. Okay, sure enough, I'll do that for you. You itemize what you've done. You put in a price on it. Let's call it €325. You put in a special discount because you're a good client, and you put the final total as zero, and you send them the invoice. And anytime they ask for work, you do that. What that does now reminds them of the value extra that you've handed to them. It also means that they'll stop calling you in case one of those invoices doesn't come in with a zero balance. And finally, when it comes to negotiating a new job for them and they say, well, what extras can you throw in? You can pull out those invoices and say, look what I did for you last time. I'm sure we can work together like that again.
I love it. This is such a golden nugget. I mean, the previous tip was hot, but this is even hotter. I love it. Actually, I'll be honest, I've never done this particular way before.
All right, good.
I've done it before. And it's amazing. Actually, I will probably start doing it as well. Just, I'll do this for you, and this is the invoice. Oh, this is very, very hot. I like it. Thank you so much. This is amazing. And I hope people enjoyed listening to these tips as well.
I'll give you the third part then. There's loads more, but I'm going to give you three because you know the power of three. So I might as well give you a third piece.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. We all meet a person, and they come along on a continuous basis in our lives, and they say to you, hey, Olga, I've got a great project. Now, it's only a small project. But if you look after me and give me a good price on this project, I have a much bigger one coming.
Yeah.
Does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
It does. Right. Now, when you think about it logically, What they're going to do is give you a small project that they wanted at a discount.
Mm-hmm.
And what they're suggesting is they will bring in a much bigger project and let you charge them full price.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you think about it, it doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And for a very simple reason, because it doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
So I introduce what I call retrospective discounting.
Mm-hmm.
And I say to these people, I say, I'll tell you what, that sounds fantastic, but I have a better way to do this. Give me the small project and I'll charge you the full price. And when the bigger one comes in, I'll give you the discount back on that when you deliver it.
And they don't like it.
I've never had a project from them.
Exactly. I know what you mean. It's so bizarre. That's exactly, you're so right here. Like, I actually learned it from my other business when it was in cleaning and domestic property maintenance. And it was amazing how many people would call us and would say, we have so many properties. So many properties. Give us a really good price on this one. I want to give you all the rest. And my answer was always like, no, we're going to do this full price. And then we're going to give you discounts on the rest. Never heard from them.
No.
What are the best houses? Where are they? Yes, I so agree with you. And it's so powerful because they give you this hope. And especially people, they're just starting out. They're wannabes. They don't know the business yet. They don't know the industry yet. They don't know the pitfalls and all these dark sides of some clients who want to work with you. And they hear this, they have so much hope. They have so much hope and they will do their best. They will do their best for nothing. And then they're going to be second client, third client, and fourth client, because of course they're going to recommend now to each other, right? Oh, I've got this person who does everything for nothing. And then the person just starts hating their own businesses. Because
but they do. Because we all end up working, we can all end up working for very difficult people. And very difficult people are all over the place.
Yeah.
And the problem is they seem to be giving us a lot of work, but we don't assess it in its true sense. Yeah. I remember when I was running a design agency, I had a look through our client base. And I identified very quickly 6 people who I knew were difficult to work with. And what I did is track them. And what you appeared to see was, there seems to be a reasonable amount of business coming. But they had all the same traits. They were difficult to work for. They wanted everything yesterday. They wanted to pay the least amount of money for it. And they were the slowest to pay for it.
I know.
So what I suggested was, I talked to my business partner at the time, and he says, "I'll tell them to get lost." You know, I said, "No, always give people a choice. I'm a great believer in giving people a choice." And I said, "Okay." So I went to meet up. There's 6 of them, and I said, individually, of course, and each one I said, "Yes, we're reassessing our fees on the service we're offering, and in your case, the fee has gone up by 70%."
70?
Yeah, 70%.
I love that.
Well, of course, there was shock and horror and all of those sort of things.
Oh, yeah.
The net result was 2 of them left us and the other 4 stayed to pay the 70% extra. And that then justified the extra work we had to put in with them and collecting the money on one thing and another. Yeah. But there was a new dynamic then. We knew who needed who the most then.
Yes. Yeah. And who was ready to value what you do.
Yeah, exactly.
And again, if you don't value yourself, people will never value you. But you can only show how much you value yourself if you verbalize that.
That's it. I mean, we all suffer from imposter syndrome from time to time. You know, this is it. This is lacking our credibility or our credulity. But listen, we all have knowledge. We all have expertise to share. And the market will tell you that. You know, if you don't have it, people won't buy it at all. But you need to be confident. You need to stand up for yourself because you will get pushed around. The business world is a rough place at times, and you need to stand up and be accounted for.
I love that. This is so profound. And I'm so grateful you actually came today and you shared this all, because it's almost like you open your mouth and then wisdom just comes out. It's amazing how in such a period of time, because, you know, for the first half an hour, we just were laughing. But literally in the last couple of 15 minutes, you shared so much value. I like this.
Good.
So hard. Honestly, what you're telling there is very simple. It's easy to digest. It's easy to apply. Even today, people can go away and think, okay, who is my hardest client? I either fire them or I increase the fee by 70%. If they still stay, I'm laughing. If they leave, okay, then it will be another one. And the truth is, when you said in the very beginning, they need to charge more. The truth is, and what also I learned in my business, when you start charging more, it's easier actually to find business. It's much.
Yes, it is. It's about having confidence in your business and your ability to complete a project, and your credibility. When you start charging less and less, you start sounding desperate, and people smell the blood of desperation. That's what happens, you know.
Exactly. Oh my God, I will not keep you any longer because I know.
One thing I might share with you though, if you don't mind, before we leave, a free thing for your audience if they're interested.
Yes,
you might give them my website, Alec at alecwdrew.com. That's email, and alecwdrew.com. But the 17th at 10 o'clock, I think it is in the morning, I'm running a webinar with a friend of mine. It's only a half an hour and it's free. And it's called 5 Steps to Powerful, Persuasive Presentations.
Wow.
And really what it is anybody who has to make presentations, usually PowerPoint, whatever way you make them, we're going to show you in 30 minutes how to do that, 5 ways to do it much better.
Amazing. And I mean, after everything what you said today, I have no doubt it will be absolutely fully jumped with value. That's amazing. Only half an hour, 5 tips how to make better presentations and sell more. I love it. What we'll do, we will share the link to people actually so they can go on both Facebook and also YouTube so they can learn. This is amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you. Really appreciate that. And audience will definitely love it because I can see the participation and lots of likes coming from Facebook, and also people are quite excited on YouTube, which is amazing. That's great. But Alec, how else people can contact you? I know you do speaking engagements, so people can book you for speaking. Is it via email? Obviously I will share the email below, but is there any other ways how people get in touch with you?
Yeah, of course. You will email, obviously. I'm on LinkedIn. So it's Alec Drew, the business expert. Also, it's alecwdrew.com is the website. Mm-hmm. And I suppose you'll see me on social media. I'm not a big social media person, but I get dragged into it. And listen, I'm sure after talking to you, because you seem to be an expert in this area, my name will pop up here and there around the place. And I'll pick up some traction on that. I also what I do run with a girl called Wendy is a thing called the Virtual Business Owners Network. Mm. And that's virtualbon.com. And it's free to anybody who is a business owner and wants to link up every Friday for an hour and learn from other people who are exactly like them.
Wow, this is so cool. Well, we'll definitely make sure that we share everything. We're going to exchange the links, and I will post them below the video on Facebook and also YouTube so people can actually log in there and check it out. And we have this beautiful comment from Maria. She says, brilliant, lots of exclamation marks. Thank you. And I will thank you, everybody who joined us today, who was watching, who was participating, sending us your love. And Diana, she also had a glitch, but now actually she also sorted out everything just like we did. So thank you so much, everybody who joined us, who was watching us. And Alec, thank you so very much, all the way from UK, all the way to Ireland, Dublin, because you are there right now. Big thank you sending to you, because what you shared today was so simple, but so easy applicable, and will make so drastic, massive, huge changes if people actually will learn and apply that.
Well, I'll tell you what, you make sure you stay safe, you look after yourself, and as we say, a million welcomes from Ireland. Céad míle fáilte.
Thank you. And very soon I will go and visit you definitely in Ireland, Dublin, because I miss Dublin. I love Dublin. So we'll see you soon there. Amazing. Thank you so much.
See you then, Olga. Cheers. Look after yourself. Bye.